This is the story of Xi Jinping, his incredible rise to power from the shadows to become one of the most powerful leaders in the world today. Xi and his story is full of drama and struggle throughout the years. Xi rose through the ranks, taking a very long path from being an outcast to completely transforming himself and China into what it is today. To understand Xi properly, we need to start from the beginning. Xi Jinping was born on June 15, 1953 in Beijing, just a few years after Mao Zedong's Communist Revolution and the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Both of his parents were revolutionaries. His father in particular fought alongside Mao Zedong and is considered one of the founding fathers of modern China that we know today. Xi Jinping's father, Xi Jinping, like Mao Zedong, was an active participant in revolutionary activities after joining the Chinese Communist Party in the 1920s. They both operated in the larger communist movement, which aimed at overthrowing the nationalist government and establishing a socialist state. Xi's father, Xi Jinping, and Mao Zedong had a very complex relationship marked by cooperation and conflict at different points in their respective careers. Xi Jinping first ascended the CCP's ranks during the Long March. He was renowned for his political and military prowess. Therefore, Xi was viewed as an important ally by Mao in the fight against the nationalists during the Chinese Civil War, and of course, against the Japanese when the Empire of Japan invaded China in 1937. Xi Jinping's father also held prominent positions in the Chinese government after the foundation of the People's Republic of China in 1949. However, this all came crashing down in 1963 when his father was purged from the Chinese Communist Party and sent to work in a factory. Alongside supporting quote-unquote regionalism, Xi Jinping was also accused of being involved in anti-party activities. As a result, he was formally purged from all of his official positions. As if this wasn't enough, the Cultural Revolution, which started in 1966, further disrupted Xi's family's social standing. His father, who had previously been demoted from a party elite to a manager of a tractor factory, was jailed and beaten. Their family home was ransacked by student militants, and his sister very tragically died due to the persecution. Afterwards, his mother was forced to publicly denounce his father, who was paraded in front of a crowd as an opponent of the revolution. His father was later imprisoned in 1968, when Xi Jinping was just 15. Following that, Xi was sent to the countryside as part of Mao's re-education movement. He worked in the countryside as the party secretary of Liangjie village, where he literally lived in a cave house. After a few months, unable to cope with rural life, he tried to flee to Beijing, the capital. Unfortunately for him, he was captured during a crackdown on deserters from the countryside and got sent to a work camp to do hard labor. Thankfully, he was able to come back to the village he was assigned. He spent a total of 7 years in the countryside before his eventual return to the capital, Beijing. Upon his return to Beijing, Xi Jinping immediately attempted to join the Communist Youth League. After 7 rejections, Xi finally joined the Communist Youth League in 1971. It took him 8 tries to do that. Later on, Xi submitted 10 applications to the Chinese Communist Party beginning in 1973, and in 1974, he was finally admitted on his 10th try. The following year, he began attending university in Beijing. After graduating in 1979, he worked for 3 years as a secretary to the vice premier and minister of national defense in the central Chinese government. Remember me telling you about how Xi Jinping's rise to power was a really long path? Well, in 1982, he decided to leave the capital. Xi then had a regional political career serving in 4 different provinces. These 4 provinces were Hebei, Fujian, Zhejiang, and Shanghai. Specifically in Fujian, Xi Jinping arrived there in 1985, starting his journey as a member of the party committee and vice mayor of Xiamen, a major city in the province. This marked the beginning of his nearly 2-decade-long service in Fujian. One of Xi's major focuses in Fujian was to attract investment from Taiwan. He worked diligently to create a favorable environment for Taiwanese businesses to invest in the province, fostering economic ties across the Taiwan Strait. Xi also put significant efforts into strengthening Fujian's private sector. He introduced policies that encouraged private enterprises, contributing to the economic health of the province in a positive manner. Under his leadership, Fujian saw considerable growth in its private sector economy. During his time in Fujian, Xi faced several challenges, such as a smuggling and corruption scandal in year 2000. Xi Jinping himself, along with the provincial party secretary at the time, were called before top members of the Politburo Standing Committee to explain the situation. Xi's handling of the scandal demonstrated his commitment to addressing corruption. This definitely earned him some positive points in the eyes of the public, and of course, in the eyes of the central government. In 2002, Xi Jinping left Fujian and moved to Zhejiang, where he quickly rose to prominent political positions. After serving several months as the acting governor, he became the provincial party committee secretary. This was his first time in a top provincial office. That same year, Xi was elected to the 16th Central Committee, which in turn fully elevated him to the national stage. While all of this was going on, he managed to achieve impressive economic growth rates of about 14% annually in Zhejiang. This gained recognition for his firm stance against corruption, just like the scandal back in 2000. Combination of all of these events brought national media attention and impressed China's top leaders at the time. Fortune smiled at Xi Jinping once again in early 2007. He was selected as one of the 9 members of the CCP's political bureau, the highest ruling body in the party. This promotion placed him on a very short list of likely successors to the president. Xi's position even became more certain when in March 2008, he was elected as Vice President of China. During his time as the VP, he focused heavily on improving international relations. In October 2010, Xi was named Vice Chairman of the powerful Central Military Commission. This position is generally considered a major stepping stone to the presidency. In November 2012, during CCP's party congress, Xi was elected as the General Secretary of the party. At the same time, Xi Jinping also became the chairman of Central Military Commission. 39 years, 39 very long years after joining the CCP in 1974, Xi Jinping was finally elected as the president of China by the National People's Congress on March 14, 2013. If someone asked me about Xi Jinping's rise from an outcast to the most powerful man in China, I would love to be able to conclude the story here. Unfortunately, that is simply not possible. Since he was elected president in 2013, there have been serious questions about Xi Jinping's consolidation of power. In addition to taking down dishonest officials, his anti-corruption crusade has also eliminated political competitors and gave him more power in the Communist Party. In 2018, Xi broke with the collective leadership model established by Deng Xiaoping that aimed to prevent a single dominant leader emerging from the party. By doing so, he paved his own way for potentially indefinite rule. Although Xi Jinping didn't explicitly declare lifetime rule, in March 2018, China's National People's Congress approved a constitutional amendment removing the 2-term limit for the presidency. This change allows Xi to remain in power indefinitely, potentially enabling him to rule for life if he chooses to. In the recent years, China's influence has grown internationally as a result of Xi's assertive foreign policy. These policies have also sparked questions about China's and Xi Jinping's intentions worldwide. The way his government handled human rights has been widely criticized. In conclusion, most people see Xi Jinping's centralization of power as a potentially threatening factor to China's political flexibility. It can also be something that could lead to greater internal repression and more problematic international relations. So, that is where we stand right now as of 2024. Looking back at Xi's long road to power, his story is nothing short of incredible. However, it's still not a completely finished story if you ask me. Only time will tell which route Xi and China will be taking in the coming years and decades. Hey, thank you so much for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed the viewing and the listening experience of this one. I hope all is good with your life, and I'll see you next time, alright? Goodbye and take care.